Guys, this is Astranox. This is going to be a quick video. These are my thoughts for Vivian, and yeah, early review for her. Her skill multipliers: skill 1 is 224%, skill 2 is 177%. When you soul burn, it's 219%, and this thing can trigger, right? Like, so it triggers whenever an enemy is defeated. And trigger number 1 deals 108% damage, which is 64% lower than the when you use the skill. Trigger number 2 will deal 59% damage only, which is 3 times lower than the initial damage. So the way it works is that when this thing triggers, it will use your skill enhance. So it's going to be boosted by the skill enhancement. So that's good. But if you, let's say, soul burn with skill 2, right, which is 219% damage versus if you don't soul burn, it's 177. When you soul burn, it will only boost the damage of, well, this skill when you use it, but the trigger will not be affected. So remember that. And to be honest, like, this hero seems to be just too squishy for most scenarios in PvP, but a lot of players will be pulling for her for a sub 1 minute Banshee run. Also for auto Banshee, this is where she would shine the most in my opinion. Also she can definitely be used in Astranox hunt. The thing is, you're gonna need to make sure that you don't bring more buffs than, like, she should be probably like the sole buffer in the group. So there's that, unless you bring someone else that brings immunity or something like that, but like that wouldn't be good anyways. So if you put Ila's Violent on her, since she's a mage, she can also be removing that frenzy buff, so that's another plus. So she's gonna be used as a utility hero, like a support, but she can be a semi damage dealer as well, because I mean for the ads, this is gonna be dealing a decent amount of damage. And those triggers will help you some more in terms of well, killing the ads faster. So there's that. Her skill 1 allows her to just cycle through her skills faster, which is always good, especially on a hero that will apply immunity and attack buff for the whole team. It's greater attack buff for herself only. Greater attack buff is 75% attack increase, so that's really cool. That's a lot of damage increase, but to be honest, her multipliers are they're too low. But I mean, she can have like OP damage with her kit. It just wouldn't make sense, right? It wouldn't make sense. Another great reason, well, where this hero would shine, like I said, it's Banshee. Definitely Astranox hunt, she can definitely shine there. In Raid and Labyrinth, it will come down to how much morale with other heroes she gives. So I have to wait for the simulators to add her so I can test it out, check it out, like which comp would be good. So I will do another, like a more in-depth guide of her later on with all that stuff. So for PvP, I mean, you can use her in a cleave composition. You can use her, I mean, she's gonna, that attack buff, of course, she could be that attack buffer in the group. Maybe you're just trying to get rid of like their big threats on their team, right? You're just trying to take the biggest threats out, the damage dealers, and then you're left with some supports. Well, she's gonna be able to assist you for the damage, so there's that. And yeah, she doesn't push combat readiness for the team though, but her high base speed is definitely gonna come in handy. You could definitely have her go first on your team. It's just, it's gonna be a different type of setup, because I guess you could use her, right? You could use her with the immunity set, immune buff for your whole team to just tank whatever debuff they're gonna throw at you, and then you would kind of act as a turn 2 team, but you wouldn't be attacking like high offense teams. That's the thing. You'd be attacking some tanky teams, maybe with one big damage dealer, So that's it. Like if you can outspeed that damage dealer and they don't have any combat readiness booster, I guess you could do a I guess you can bust some tank teams, especially the heavy ice ones. So there's that. But just the fact that she has that attack buff plus the immunity is also like that's a big deal right there. She's Earth, so with the heavy ice meta, all like most of the limited heroes, they've been ice. Dian, Luna, Dizzy. So that really that gives her more value there. And as a farmer, she can definitely be used. I mean, you could, like, she's got that attack buff already. The immunity is also great. And then, like, the fact that this can just trigger when you kill someone is really cool. And it can trigger up to 3 times. That's the limit, it seems. But since your adventure runs, they're gonna be like pretty short, you'll be fine. And yeah, I mean, you need to make sure that she lands critical hits. So there's that, because you want to get as much combat readiness as possible out of her. And her skill ups, that's yeah, you're gonna have to invest a lot there. That's a lot of Molagoras right there. The damage increase is quite good. It's a 40% increase. So, and also the 5% combat readiness increase, very useful. So her stats, like I said, like she's quite squishy. Her defense, that's like mages, like they have 600 defense, and they have in the 600, so that's normal for mage. The speed is very good, so there's that. The HP, on the other hand, like it's not that. I mean, it's not that high. It's too squishy. It's too squishy for her to be part of multiple PvP teams, because she's just gonna be taken out. If you build her as a support, she's just gonna die. It's gonna be too hard for her to survive, and especially like you want her with a decent amount of speed, and then you want her with some crit chance as well. So that's gonna require a lot of stats right there. Of course, she doesn't need the effectiveness, but just like think about it, like you need some survival stats, you need some speed, you need some crit chance. Then like if you're gonna have to go with a crit chance necklace, well, you're missing one item on the right side that could be HP percentage or defense percentage. So there's that. The thing that is good with her though, you could make it happen though. You could make her support your team with these buffs by themselves. So listen to this. You've got the immunity buff, right? So what is the thing that is super dangerous in PvP? It's defense down. So defense down reduce your defense by 70%. If you have immunity, you can kind of abuse defense more. You can have your whole team with between 1 and 2 items on the right side. That is defense percentage. The other one could be HP percentage. But of course, like you're gonna need some damage as well in there, but on your team. But let's say you could have one is HP percentage, and you have some solid defense percentage on your substats. So you can balance your HP and your defense better than relying more on HP for PvP, because you have the risk of getting hit with defense down. So there's that. So you can really like min-max and try to get as much effective HP as possible across your team by getting more defense, because you know you're gonna have that immunity buff pretty much up permanently if you are using her with Etika's Scepter. If you have her Molagora, you're getting some, you're landing some critical hits. You are just boosting her combat readiness. She's able to cycle through her skills faster, and in turn she's able to just have a high uptime on that skill 3, which is very powerful, very powerful. So you're gonna need that Etika's Scepter. You're gonna need her faster than most heroes on your team. So the uptime could potentially be, well, permanent on the other heroes depending on your stats. And you could definitely just build her with let's just go here in the artifact section. So for mages, of course, Etika's Scepter is that's a top tier artifact for her, of course, for the uptime on that skill 3 buff. If you want to disrupt the enemy team though, oh yeah, another thing I want to talk about, of course, is time matter. A lot of players would be wondering, like, what about this artifact? Like, how good is it for her? I mean, if you can land some kills, Time Matter will be amazing. I mean, her skill 2, the cooldown is so short. It's a 2-turn cooldown. And, I mean, especially if you've got that skill 2 triggering, that will allow her to just, like, reduce the cooldown. Each time it triggers, you can, if you kill someone, well, you have to kill someone for triggering it, but you can constantly reduce the cooldown of your skills with Time Matter, and also you've got the damage increase. So that's really cool. It can be useful for adventures. As a farmer, that's where it will shine the most, I believe. But also, like, let's say in Asymmetric Hunt, you're doing like A11, Asymmetric 11. Maybe this could actually come in really handy if you're able to kill those ads. So there's that. Now, if you want to build her more as a support with those buffs, if you want to disrupt the enemy team as well, of course, you've got the option of running Abyssal Crown. So those stuns are going to be really helpful. But also, like, you've got Syra Ren. Syra Ren is really powerful. You can really annoy the enemy team with these debuffs. So that would be good on the short cooldown of her skill 2. 2-turn, that's really short. So yeah, these are the options that she can be running. And also Ila's Violent, if you want to, you could just use her as, like, that could be your strip, right, on that skill 2. But she doesn't necessarily need high damage. If you want her to cycle through her skills faster, of course, you're going to need her to have a decent amount of crit chance. She doesn't need 100% though. If, let's say, you could pair her too, there's another way to go about this is, no, that wouldn't work actually. Since the skill 3 doesn't attack, you can't really use her with Challenger Domino, because her turn 1, you want to buff the group. But, yeah, I mean, if you know you're going to be going for a few turns, I guess in PVE, right, you can have her with Challenger Domino, and if you can rely on that crit chance buff, which gives you 50% crit chance, and, I mean, you don't need that much crit chance. You've got the memory imprint of Challenger Domino, you've got the buff, so you can just have 40% crit chance, and Challenger Domino by herself will make up for the rest. And then she is gonna use her skill 2. If you are using Ethica's Scepter, she's gonna be using that skill 2 like a lot, like so often, and you're gonna be able to just boost the combat readiness of Challenger Domino so often. You're gonna be able to, I mean, you're gonna bring that attack buff for the team with the immunity. That could be a really great pair together actually. So there is that. And yeah, really solid. Like, so many ice heroes in PvP, but I would say that it's not in the top top leagues, right? You're not gonna be seeing a lot of ice heroes, like heavy ice teams in Legend or in Champion. It's gonna be in Challenger or below. That's the thing though, because top rank in PvP is usually like Moonlight heroes. We know the deal there. So yeah, these are like my thoughts about it. And let me just talk real quick about this this artifact here that is paired with her. So here it is. So Dignus Orb, right? This thing, like if she has 3000 attack, and since she's applying greater attack buff, so it's 75% attack, this becomes 5250 attack, right? So let's say you've got this thing, you only have one copy, you brought it to plus 15, which is going to give you 90%. The barrier is going to be based on 90% of your attack, so it is going to be a 4725 HP barrier. It's not bad, it's not bad. So this could be the artifact that you use on her as a farmer. I mean, there might be some scenarios where she needs that extra survival, right? And there's also some scenarios, maybe you want to bring her in PvE, maybe it could be PvP too. And you kind of want her with high offense, but she's missing that survival, right? She's missing that survival. You don't have anyone on your team applying barrier. You only have like healers. Now she could really benefit from this artifact, so think about that. And also, if you have this thing maxed out, it's going to be 5250 times 1.2, so 6300 HP barrier. And yeah, she cycles through her skills fast. So this barrier is going to be up. Well, hopefully it does help you. So just I wanted to point that out for you guys with the artifact and you're wondering what to do with it. So there's going to be some scenarios where you can use it, but it's not going to be something you just slap on her and it's going to be like best in slot forever. That's not the case. But I would say like overall, she's a good hero, especially if you're missing an earth damage dealer, and she does provide some great utility with those buffs. It's really powerful. So yeah. All right, so I'm gonna close on this saying that she is really good like for PVE, but in PvP, like she's gonna be used in more niche situations. You're gonna need like you can just bring her in any PvP team. So of course, like if you're facing a lot of ice heroes, she can definitely be helpful there. So yeah, and also yeah, good luck with the summoning. I mean, it really depends what you got in your roster, and if you're missing like an AoE or Earth with those buffs, man, it's just because you don't see, like we don't have many heroes with a 3-turn attack buff. We've got Dian. I mean, she's limited. You got Maid Chloe, and definitely not easy to obtain. And you've got the immunity buff to 3-turn, 1 turn higher than Angelica, and she can be a damage dealer or a support. Like pretty cool hero. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Astranox. Like, comment, subscribe for more. Press the bell icon to be notified whenever I release a new video. And check out my other videos. They should be showing up on the screen now. Playlists of all sorts. Arena, Guild Wars, Guides, Tips, and How-Tos, and Abyss Floor 62+. So check those out if you haven't. And also, check my Discord server. It's in the description. Come have fun, chat with us, talk about Epic 7 or other games in that channel. And that's it for this one. Peace out for now, guys.